Welcome back. Thanks very much for staying with us. You're watching WION World One with me, Raisha Sehgal. And this is Speed News, where we get you the latest from all across the globe. And I'm also being joined by interpreter Miss Rajni. Let's get you started. It's the election season in the United States, and race for the White House is heating up. Ahead of the Republican caucus, freezing weather conditions and wind chill hit Iowa. Iowa is the first electoral contest for the Republicans in 2024. According to the polls conducted by NBC News, former U.S. President Donald Trump is leading on the popularity front compared to his opponents in the Republican Party. The poll states that Trump is popular among 48% of caucus goers, followed by former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley with 20% and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with 16%. Tensions continue to escalate in the Red Sea. A U.S. fighter aircraft shot down a missile fired from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen towards U.S. warship USS Laboon. The United States Defense Department, U.S. Central Command, took to social media platform X and posted that an anti-ship missile was fired from Yemen's Houthi-controlled areas towards USS warship. The statement further said that the missile was shot down by a fighter aircraft, resulting in no damages and casualties. Meanwhile, in Egypt, foreign ministers of Egypt and China issued a joint statement raising concerns over the navigation safety and security of shipping lanes and called for stability in the international trade border. Russia claimed that its forces warded off Ukraine's multiple attacks, while Ukraine said its armed forces continued offensive operations. According to the latest updates on the war, the Russian Defense Ministry said that its army hit an ammunition depot in a Ukrainian military airport, and the attacks from the Ukrainian army in Donetsk and other directions. On the same day, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine claimed that in the last 24 hours, the Ukrainian armed forces continued their offensive operations in multiple directions. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff condemned what North Korea claimed to be a new solid-fuel hypersonic missile test. Joint Chief of Staff's Public Affairs Officer called the intermediate-range ballistic missile test a move that threatens peace and stability in the Korean peninsula. North Korea also said that it flight-tested a new solid-fuel intermediate-range missile tipped with a hypersonic warhead. North Korea said it pursues more powerful, harder-to-detect weapons designed to strike remote U.S. targets in the region. Japan has said that North Korea may carry out further provocations. This comes one day after Pyongyang launched an intermediate-range ballistic missile. North Korea claims that it has a new solid-fuel hypersonic warhead. Japan's chief cabinet secretary has also confirmed that the missile fell outside Japan's exclusive economic zone as the government continues. Sunday's missile launch was also condemned by South Korea, US and Japan. During a three-way phone call, the allied countries said that North Korea's provocations were a root cause of instability in the region. Pope Francis has defended his decision to allow blessings for same-sex couples for the first time. This comes after receiving backlash from African Catholic bishops who said that the Vatican's recent approval of blessings for same-sex couples was not appropriate. In an interview to an Italian channel, Pope said that those who do not like decisions such as the one on same-sex blessings should make their doubts known and engage in fraternal discussions. Pope further said that those in the Catholic Church who have resisted it have jumped to ugly conclusions because they do not understand it. A new YouGov survey suggests that the Tories could face a 1997-style electoral wipeout that would hand the Labour Party a 120-seat majority. According to the survey, the Tories are expected to retain just around 169 seats. On the other hand, the Labour Party is expected to sweep to power with approximately 385 seats. The poll indicates that every seat won by Boris Johnson in 2019 could be lost at the election this year. The poll also suggests that this would guarantee the Labour Party at least a decade in government. No party with such a sizable majority has ever lost to the subsequent election. The survey was commissioned by a group of conservative donors called the Conservative Britain Alliance. In other global news, Bernardo Arevalo took oath as Guatemala's new president today. The swearing-in was earlier delayed by some hostile Guatemalan lawmakers. Arevalo, a 65-year-old former diplomat and sociologist, was officially declared president, and Karin Herrera swore in as the vice president. In his first speech, he promised to wipe out corruption. He promised to uphold national institutions and restore democracy in the Central American nation. Avalanches, blanketed highways leading to a famous winter sports and tourist attraction in China's northwestern Xinjiang region. China's state media said that the snow covered large sections of roads, trapping tourists at the Altai Mountains. The snow also blocked highways leading to various scenic spots in the county there. The tourists were lifted by helicopters who were stranded in the areas. The Israel Embassy in Bangkok has launched a tuk-tuk campaign to spread awareness on the hostages being held by Hamas militants. Pictures of hostages have been pasted on hundreds of tuk-tuk taxis with a message which says, "Let hostages go home." Israel's envoy to Thailand said, "We want people to think about the hostages and remember them when they see the pictures on the taxis." The tuk-tuks will carry the pictures of hostages for 3 weeks. And over to the ongoing face-off between India and Maldives. Maldivian President Mohamed Morsi has asked India to withdraw its military personnel from his country by March 15th. Mali and New Delhi have set up a high-level core group to negotiate the withdrawal of troops. President Morsi, after his return to Mali, that is after a 5-day state visit to China, said that he will reduce dependency on certain countries when it comes to health, medical services. The move is being seen as an expression of frustration against India, an outcome of the recent diplomatic row sparked by Maldivian ministers. African nation Zambia is dealing with one of its worst cholera outbreak in recent years. Over 350 people have died and 9,000 active cases have been reported so far due to climate change, followed by heavy rainfall, which has contaminated drinking water in overpopulated and the urban areas there. Zambia's capital is one of the worst affected cities at the moment. Health workers are working round the clock in order to contain a crisis. Zambian president has urged people to relocate from towns to villages. Zambian health authorities have urged people not to attend funerals of those who succumbed to the disease. Due to the rise in nationwide COVID-related deaths for the straight second year, China is likely to witness decline in its population, while weaker economy has kept the birth rates depressed. China's population reduced in the year 2022 for the first time. The dip in population numbers comes at a time when China is struggling with an aging population. The estimated population date will be released on January 17th, which will show the new births of the year 2023. Major issues of gender equality and high childcare costs still remain unaddressed in China. Colombian President Gustavo Petro visited the site where a deadly mudslide took place on Sunday, killing 33 people, followed by heavy rains in northwestern Colombia. The President declared the road an emergency zone and announced investments in the area worth $128 million. According to the latest report issued by the Colombian presidency, the final death toll stands at 33 on Sunday, while 20 have been injured and 10 have been reportedly missing. In other global news, a massive volcanic eruption took place on Sunday in Iceland's Grindavik town, raising the emergency alert. Notably, it is the second volcanic eruption in the last 2 days. According to Iceland's Met Department, this is the fifth volcanic eruption since 2021 in the peninsula. Iceland president took to social media platform X and said that the residents have been evacuated and no lives are in danger. He further said that the infrastructure may be under threat. The Prime Minister has called the eruption a serious situation and assured that those who have been evacuated will be compensated by the administration. Just days after a powerful storm ravaged the Maine coast, another round of heavy winds and rain landed a second blow to the state. The winds with gusts up to 60 mph combined with rain and an astronomical high tide. It caused major flooding, inundating low-lying areas that are still trying to recover from damage caused earlier in the week. The storm further caused power outages in the area. The tourists were stranded for several days after avalanches hit highways, leading to a popular winter tourism area in China's northwest region of Xinjiang. According to local media reports, they were lifted by helicopter to safety, and that is days of heavy snow at the Altai prefecture in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, which triggered dozens of avalanches on large sections of highways at the mountains. The city of Chicago woke up to downright frigid temperatures, but residents were treated to a unique show as it appeared that the waters of Lake Michigan were producing steam or smoke. According to the University of Maine, the steam is actually water vapor. That vapor forms when really cold air moves over warmer water and the thin boundary layer of warm air just above the surface. When the evaporating droplets rise, the cooler can only hold a limited amount of moisture. Boeing faces a setback in resuming 737 MAX deliveries to China after an Alaska airline incident prompted safety concerns. China's Southern Airlines set to receive MAX planes in January delays plans for additional safety inspections. China's aviation regulator instructs checks on all Boeing 737 MAX jets. Beijing awaits U.S. investigations for clarity, holding off substantive actions. This pause extends Boeing's struggle in China since the 2019 MAX grounding. The company's ties with China strained by political tensions. It hinges on the growth ahead. Boeing recently made a direct 787 Dreamliner supply to China, hinting at thawing ties. As Ukraine confronts Russian aggression, financial support falters from the US and EU, proposing an inventive solution. Ukraine considers issuing reparation bonds tied to future war damage claims against Moscow. Legal hurdles loom, but the UN General Assembly's backing adds weight to holding Russia accountable. Urgently needing funds, Ukraine faces skepticism of the bonds, risks to enhance appeal. Western governments could be anchor investors, steering Russia's frozen assets towards compensation. The Boston consulting group BCG predicts a potential $7 trillion surge in global banks' valuations over the next 5 years, emphasizing growth and improved price-to-book ratios. This forecast suggests a doubling of current valuations, countering a prevalent trend of pessimism in the banking sector due to dwindling profitability. In 2022, 75% of bank stocks exhibited price-to-book ratios below 1, and price-to-earnings multipliers were nearly half the levels seen in 2008. Despite challenges such as higher capital requirements and fintech competition, BCG suggests that strategic investments in productivity could reshape the banking landscape, although a complete return to pre-financial crisis seems unlikely.